So thank you for having me this morning. And I just love these CEOs because they always just encourage me so much in my life, in my daily life, in my business. And so, but I'm talking about creating growth mindset and action plan to grow. So there are two types of mindsets. And I hope that in just a few minutes that I can change you from one type, if you're one type, to a growth mindset. Okay. So this one type that I'm talking about is called a fixed mindset. Okay. And we want to transition your mind from fixed, if it's fixed, to a growth mindset. So the fixed mindset means you believe talent and intelligence are something that that you have or you don't have. Been there. I've had a fixed mindset in my life before, and just it is what it is, and it's what it's always going to be, right? And so you believe that some are better than others, and that you don't believe that practice, failure, and strategy development are key to developing talent or intelligence, right? That is a fixed mindset. And so here's where I want to switch you to this mindset, okay? A growth mindset believe that skill and intelligence are something that people can develop. You believe that while people have inherent qualities and traits, like I get it from my mom or I get it from my dad, right? Success comes from constant personal development, okay? And I have just examples real quick of a fixed mindset. So I'm gonna read them real quick. Avoids challenges, gives in when they come up against hardship, believes that intelligence and skills are something you're born with and can't develop, is threatened by success of others, believes they know everything already, ignores and dismisses criticism. Okay. A growth mindset embraces challenges, perseveres in spite of failure, believes that people can increase their intelligence or skills, is inspired and motivated by the success of others, wants to learn, accepts and embraces criticism. So you have to understand that if you have a fixed mindset, that your capacity for achievement does not start or stop with your genetic makeup. Okay, it doesn't stop there. So, okay, growth mindsets understand that positive improvement is possible. Here are some action plans to grow. Okay, there's a lot of them. So if you want to go back and, I'm just going to run through them real quick. And so view failure as a part of learning. I love how just Karen, what was shared, everything has just been touched on that is kind of similar. And we don't talk about it before what we have out. It just all comes together. So view failure as a part of learning. Determine where you sit now. Be in reality of where your mindset is now. Understand where you are now. Do I have a fixed mindset, or am I in a place where I can grow and learn and mature in every area of my life? Put in the time. So my son, Eric, loves basketball, and it surprises me because he's the least athletic and doesn't love sports like the other two do. So he loves basketball. And so I'm just like, it's funny when I watch him run around the hustle because I'm like, this kid is not like this at home, but he loves it. And so this is his third season that he just finished not too long ago. And he was going in there and he was discouraged because he didn't feel that he was good enough. And I was just kept encouraging him, you have to practice. You have to practice. If you practice, you're going to get better. And I would tell him that, and he'd work hard at practices, and we work at home. And then I got to see a different kid on the basketball court. I got to see a kid thrive and was just like a machine. I'm like, well, who is this kid? And he loved it. He had a great season, and he was on a team that won every game. He was so ecstatic. He loved it. And so it won't always be that way, but he understands that with hard work, putting in the time, that he can get to where he wants to be. And so that was very encouraging. So you have to put in the time. Same with our business, with our daily lives. You have to put in the time if you want to go somewhere, right? Embrace and challenge. It's been said so many times before, and I'll say it again, the obstacle is the way, right? Don't stop because you have come to something that seems difficult. That's not the answer, right? You have simply came to a decision-making moment to press through and persevere or get up. We give up. We have a choice, right? We're going to persevere or we're going to give up. We just come to that moment and we can choose. Develop new strategies to overcome each challenge. You will learn how to navigate each challenge better than the last challenge. Explore why you want to develop a growth mindset. What is it about a growth mindset that motivates you to change? What benefits do you see a growth mindset bringing to your life? Understanding this will give you purpose during the difficult stages of developing this worldview of a growth mindset. Okay. Find examples of others who have developed a growth mindset, like kind of we shared earlier too. Or you borrow that confidence, or you look and see, like Karen said, who's in the room, and who's empowering and powerful because they're encouraging and they're celebrating people, and they're, love it when people win. And so change your perspective on failure. Failure is not a sign of inability, but part of the process of learning. Even the world's greatest athletes, artists, and business magnates start as kids with little talent or expertise. And so I'm almost done with my time, so I'm going to finish up right now. Now we do this too. Notice how you speak and act. Start using the word yet more often. My business isn't there yet. I haven't achieved this yet, because that yet is it is not a period. It's a comma, right? It's a continuance. And so Proverbs 18:21, the tongue has power of life and death. We are learning more and more, and the Lord just convicts us with this scripture in a loving way, going, watch what you speak, because you're speaking life or death. You're tearing up or you're tearing down, one of the two. And you can speak there's so much power in that. And so reflect on each day what you failed at and learn from it. Stop seeking approval from others. Identify opportunities to celebrate the success of others. So I challenge you this morning to just examine yourself. Do you have a fixed mindset or do you have a growth mindset? And that's it.
Oh my goodness. We are going to actually put that as its own teaching on SheEO later. Y'all know we do that periodically. We clip things and we put them out there. So we are definitely going to put that. I saw in the chat, everybody was just like, I need the notes. I need the notes, all of that. So we are going to get those out there. But I want you to tell them real quick, Leah, because I've seen a mind shift in you. And we talked about this before, about how goes right along with something I said at Awaken, about if an abundant mindset family if you don't come from an abundant mindset family, make sure an abundant mindset family comes from you. And so what are you and your family about to do that you have not been able to do until you made this mind shift and did the work?
Yes. And so we were just, spring break's coming up, and normally, like I shared last night, we were paycheck to paycheck. My husband makes $32,000 a year working for the state. And so we were literally paycheck to paycheck. It was paying the bills, putting gas in the car, and putting food on the table. And that was like, we tithed, and that was it. That was our life. And that's all we did. And so when we went somewhere or traveled or anything with family had to pay for our way, had to pay for our kids. And we want to be able to do that. We want to pay for our children and do things. So spring break's coming up, and we're just like, all of a sudden, before we know it, we're like, hey, let's look for a place. Let's look for a place to go. And where do we want to do? And there was no limitation. There was no restriction of finances or anything like that. So this has completely just broke that off. I did grow up in that poverty mindset of, can't have or don't have, or, don't have the money to, or where there's a bunch of kids in the house. And what do? You got to feed a bunch of kids, and you got to be cheap, and it's what it is. So, but that's been able to be broken off of me through this and through the hard work, and it's continuous hard work every day.